In 1984, a college student named Jennifer Thompson sat across from a police lineup and pointed at a man with absolute certainty. She said, "That is him. That is the man." She was wrong. Ronald Cotton spent 11 years in prison for a crime he never committed. And the terrifying part, Jennifer was not lying. She genuinely believed every word. That is what makes this story so deeply unsettling for everyone. So here is the question. If your own eyes can send an innocent man to prison for a decade, can you really trust your memory? Most people think memory works like a camera. Something happens. Your brain hits record. And later you simply rewind the tape, clean and reliable. That is why courts have leaned on eyewitness testimony for centuries. A person stands up, swears they saw it, and juries believe them completely. How could someone be wrong about something they watched happen right in front of them? It seems impossible. Yet it happens. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Your memory is not a camera. It is more like a Wikipedia page that anyone can silently edit. Every time you recall an event, your brain reconstructs the scene from scratch, filling in gaps with assumptions, emotions, and whatever has since drifted in. Psychologist Frederick Bartlett nailed it. Remembering is not replaying. It is rebuilding. Every rebuild introduces tiny errors, like a telephone game inside your skull. Now picture this. You are standing in a convenience store. A man bursts through the door waving a knife. Your eyes go wide with terror. Here is what your brain does in terror. It locks onto the blade. Your focus narrows like a spotlight, aimed only at the weapon. Cognitive psychologist Elizabeth Loftus tested exactly this. When a robber held something harmless, about half of witnesses correctly picked the right face from a lineup. But when the robber carried a weapon, that number crashed to just 1 in 3. Fear hijacks the brain and steals face recall. You walk away, convinced you will never forget what you saw. But what you actually remember is the weapon. The face was lost to fear. And it gets worse. The distortion does not stop at the crime scene. It keeps going every time someone asks what you saw. Loftus ran another experiment. She showed people a car crash video and then asked a sneaky question designed to mislead recall. She asked half of them, "Did you see children on the school bus?" There was no school bus in the video, not even a hint. A week later, everyone was asked about the bus. Those who heard the misleading question were 3 to 4 times more likely to say yes. One casual sentence planted a ghost image in memory. It felt every bit as real as the crash itself. That is the power of suggestion. Think about what that means for a police interrogation. A detective leans forward and asks, "The suspect was wearing a blue jacket, right? Maybe not. Maybe the jacket was black. Maybe there was no jacket." But that single word slips into memory, like ink dropped in clear water. You cannot unmix it. Once that detail seeps into memory, it becomes indistinguishable from what you actually witnessed. The contamination is invisible and total. There is one final twist, perhaps the most disturbing of all. Psychologists Gary Wells and Amy Bradfield showed students a shooting video. They asked students to identify the killer from a set of photos. Afterward, some students were simply told, "Good, that is who we suspected too." Others were told they were wrong. A control group got no feedback. 3 groups. 3 wildly different outcomes from one sentence. Among those who received that simple thumbs up, more than half became rock solid, certain they had made the right identification. Confidence manufactured completely from thin air. Without feedback, only 14% felt sure. After being told they were wrong, just 5% held firm. One sentence did this. A single authority figure sentence did not just nudge confidence, it rewired certainty entirely. And witnesses had no idea it happened. When asked whether feedback had influenced them, every confident witness said, "No." They had no idea their certainty had been manufactured. So the next time someone testifies, they saw it with their own eyes. Remember, in America, 4,500 people are wrongly convicted yearly because a witness pointed at the wrong face with total confidence. 4,500 lives. Every year, memory feels real, even when rewritten. Your memory is not a vault. It is wet clay. Every question, every headline, every passing comment leaves a fingerprint you never detect. Remember, Jennifer Thompson, so certain in that courtroom. Years later, after DNA evidence freed Ronald Cotton, she met him face to face and apologized sincerely. Today, they travel the country together, warning people about the thing that cost him a decade. The feeling that you remember exactly what you saw. You do not. None of us do. The sooner we accept that truth, the safer and more just our world will finally become.